my Meteor mic is muted too. There we go. Hey, I'm unmuted myself. I think I unmuted our guests too. I usually roll the intro, but yeah. We're good. I actually was about 10 minutes late getting stuff set up. Hopefully this flies today. We won't have issues. So little things. So the town I was at last week was Rock Springs, Wyoming. And of course, on the live portions, I don't always tell you exactly where I am because, you know, psychopaths, middle of the night. No. Patrons, though, can get more information. I'll probably update Think Live Media soon, too, to do some of that. But I was in Rock Springs, Wyoming, which is an interesting little place. I found that the internet worked and didn't work and worked and didn't work and worked and didn't work. And what happened is we caught onto a bad overcrowded tower. And so it kept on kicking off Jitsi, but not kicking off the internet connection as a whole. So basically whatever port Jitsi's using, they were kicking us off of that. So that's why our Jitsi kept on going down. Now, in the last week or so, I have had some corruption on my router firmware. And so last night I was about to reflash the router firmware, and then I found one more post that somebody says, well, try this first. Okay, well, takes significantly less time than downloading pfSense on my cellular hotspot on my phone. And so I tried that, and behold, it worked. My router's back up, but it keeps on crashing. And so what I'm thinking, and also it no longer boots itself on automatically. I went back into the BIOS to see if I could turn that setting, and I remember turning that setting on before. I can't find it now. So I'm thinking CMOS was reset, and it went back to an old original firmware for BIOS. Is that a thing, guys? Let me know. So I think what my first approach is going to do is I'm going to buy a new SSD for that and reflash the firmware with that on. And so with that, we'll see if that fixes the issue overall. But that being said, if the stream goes down, it's probably a different case. The router is having some issues, but we're working on that. And I tried to swing by Best Buy yesterday, but they closed a little bit before I got there. And right now I'm in a desert, so we're just going to deal with it for a few days. And I've really, this is funny. I have 28 up and 28 down sitting in this desert in the middle of nowhere. Because deserts, man, signals go a long way. So hopefully it holds. I'm just not going to move from here, but I'm actually in a place where there's actually miles of bike trails. So I'm going to pull out the mountain bike and probably kill myself because I'm not trained for this type of mountain biking.
But regarding the CMOS, if the CMOS battery is faulty or dies for whatever reason, old age or what have you, then it will the BIOS settings will load a default setting. So
correct. Now, if the CMOS battery goes and the BIOS has been updated, will it roll back a previous BIOS? Because I distinctly remember the setting to set it to boot on power on. When you supply power, boots up. It doesn't do that right now. So I have to give it power and then push the button.
When the CMOS battery dies, every single BIOS settings you have ever changed will
including updating the firmware, because I can't find that setting in the BIOS right now. I went into the BIOS. I cannot find the setting to now enable it to power on. So I'm wondering if when I got it, it had a newer version of BIOS and the battery died and it reset that. But I thought that was I thought that was embedded. I didn't think that would reset.
Yeah, the firmware is flashed onto some solid storage, which the BIOS is not. The BIOS is completely memory allocated.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'll figure it out anyway. Well, let's look at comments, and then we will get into our actual topic today because it seems like we're working. Castrosmiths Linux users blather on about this. It's still the early 90s, or everyone else is mangling a file factory and their production supervisor with a report deadline. What? Well, if you don't want the video, then go watch something else. All right. American Legend, greetings. Hey, buddy. I'm recovering from a nasty migraine. I hope it's not the coof. I probably should hold off on this until next week. I just woke up and feel a lot better and don't want to push this out very much. Yeah, just take chill. I'm doing lemon lift tea with some honey in it. The honey was actually grown on my friend's farm. They have raised bees, and so I actually have like natural honey that was just manufactured by bees a few months ago. It's very good.
Yeah.
Very tasty. Let's see. I think I might be going home sometime between the 5th and the 10th of next month. Awesome. We will have to throw you a celebratory party. If you do that, can you come on a supporter stream? We can celebrate with you. Let me know. Rennie Watson, Biden holding America hostage. So when do we get to file those who voted the jerk in office? Well, I don't know. You know, I don't want to get into politics right now. I want to talk about Linux file managers. And for you guys that have missed it, why does it say take two? Well, we tried to do this one last week. We were having a lot of issues with Jitsi. It just happened where I'm at. I just don't know how I'm in a city center. I was literally parked in a city center last week, and I got very poor internet, and now I'm in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Like, I can see nothing this way but mountains. I can see nothing this way but mountains, and I see nothing this way but nothing this way but mountains. The nearest city from me is 30 miles away. No, it's 20 miles away, maybe. I don't know.
You don't have in your current location. You don't have to compete for the.
That is
yeah.
also true. Yeah, I don't have to compete with 1,000 people on old dead towers. Let's see. Some of them are finally waking up. Yes. Can we all say, "Let's go, Brandon"? I guess. Let's see. What's going after the brief hospital say that cleanse the wounds from the last surgery? Take 2 90-minute therapy sessions a week. Save for Sunday. All right. Alrighty. Let's see. If you need therapy in Las Vegas, I will highly recommend it in Compass. Ooh, if you're in Las Vegas, let me know. I can probably swing by that general area. If I go into California, I have to go down through the lowest part of Nevada because I don't have chains with me. And to drive over Donner's Pass, I would have to have chains. But I can sneak on in the lower tip because there's not huge mountains down there I need to transverse. Let's see. Thought it was going to be a repeat of last week. No, we actually are working today. Greetings, Moonbase Alpha Grays. Take me to your leader. Are you going to beam me up from the middle of the desert tonight? I mean, I want to be abducted by aliens tonight. So if you could, I know I'm an alien too. So alien abducting an alien is just, oh well, but you know. How far from Riverton is Rock Springs? Riverton is about 2 hours away. So Riverton is in about the very middle of the state, just south of Thermopolis, which is kind of almost very center, a little bit north of very center. Riverton is closer to the center of Wyoming. Rock Springs is 100 miles from the western border on I-80. And so it's a truck away. You go up 191 and then you go over, I forget what road that is. Hello, one. Greetings. Okay, we have asked you to stop using foreign languages. Mods just delete and block Enrique if he does not consist to do that. You too, one. I know you're just responding, but all right. English in chat. Yes. Okay. Scares me how good text to speech is these days. I don't like algorithms being able to understand us well. Yes, absolutely. Says PC Man FM for my antics. Very good. Very good. But the French will give up during the skirmish. That's right. That's right. It's very sad when the French win the war. I mean, come on, guys. Okay.
I see that someone noticed my cap. Someone said that he wished that they hadn't screwed around with the GNU version 3, and I just have to respond that I have or I had their old no worn out. I had a t-shirt, 2 t-shirts with the GPL version 3 plastered all over it. So, hey.
All right.
Firing up people.
I have a red hat that says Red Hat.
Yeah, I like that.
Compliments to my friend. My friend works at a company. They do a lot of things with a lot of tech companies. He offered me. He's like, I have OpenSUSE and I have Red Hat. I said, give me Red Hat. OpenSUSE is too crazy for me. Had a day for work. Took it easy playing some video games. Very cool. Very cool. On my way, packing overnight bag. All right, sounds good. I want to move to Riverton specifically. I would not move to Riverton. Riverton is a very, very bad place to live in Wyoming. It is probably the worst place to live in Wyoming. You can watch the documentary called American Meth. I'll tell you, it's real. It's half set in Rock Springs, half set in Riverton, but there's enough culture in Rock Springs to overset it. Riverton, there's nothing to do but smoke meth and kill people. Okay, it's that bad. Don't go to Riverton. Like, drive through it with your doors locked, pass through it, go to Thermopolis, live there. That's awesome. The Shoshone Valley itself is kind of cool, but stay the hell out of Riverton, okay? This is speaking from a former Wyoming person, all right? I used to live there. No, don't go to Riverton. So we're from Northern California. Reno is under some sort of declared war zone. What? Reno? Like, are you talking like Reno, Nevada? Declared what? I've not heard of this. Send me details. Send me details. I used to live in Reno too. I've not heard of this.
I remember the first time I heard the name Reno. It was a movie that came in the 35 or so years ago. It was about this character called Remo Williams, who was trained by the authorities to he had some 18 or 20 years training in order to be some specialist in some So that was my first experience of the town of Reno, where the story happened.
Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and get on into our topic today, which is file managers. And I forgot to grab a notepad. But, you know, I have a very small office, so there you go. I have a notepad now, and
That is your office.
Paper. It is. It is my office. It is my bedroom. It is my car. It is my kitchen. Pretty much, yeah. It is. It is my is.
I have a whole house.
Hey, a studio apartment's big to me. All right. So what I want to do here today is I want to do like we did with the audio players a few weeks back. I want to do a video looking at the different file managers and some other applications like that. And so what I would like to do here now is just going to talk about the pros and cons of different file managers, what's our favorites, what's our least favorites, and things like that. Let's see if we can agree or disagree or agree to disagree on any of these. So I'll just throw my hat in the ring as it is. There it is. I just might have just killed somebody. My screen went, okay, you're back. All right. And so Nemo is probably my favorite. And to me, Dolphin and Nautilus are in competition for who can suck the most as a file manager. Those are my takes, and I'll explain those a little bit more in a bit. So give us your, Solbu, give us your favorites and least favorites.
Yeah, I actually only used one. I have used one for about 30 years.
Okay.
I started in the 1990s in MS-DOS with Norton Commander 3.0, and I ended up in 5.0 before I moved on to Windows, which had a Windows Commander, which was just a And when I started using Linux seriously, some 20 years ago, I stumbled across an article mentioning Midnight Commander, which is a Norton Commander clone. And I've been using that for the last 20 years. And all but the last 10 years, I only use it when I need to open archives without opening them up to the disk. It can go down and except for that, I don't use a file manager for anything. I use the terminal and
terminal for everything. All right. So for you, it's like file managers, they all suck.
Yeah, except for Midnight Commander, which is perfect for me because I've been used to this kind of file manager for 30 years, and I'm not about to change.
Yeah, there you go. You know, if it works, let's go ahead and start Dan. Before we get to you, let's go ahead and talk about anybody that's watching this that's kind of new. File manager basically is what you are viewing and manipulating files with in your GNU Linux operating system. So usually, unless there is something specific you need to do, each of these is going to come with their own file manager. Generally, just use the one it uses unless it's something really bad or something. Most of the time, your file manager is tied to the desktop environment. So Thunar is Thunar's XFCE, I believe.
Yes.
Nemo is Cinnamon. Dolphin is KDE Plasma. Nautilus is GNOME. What's Mate's, Dan?
Mate's Kaja.
Kaja is Mate. I don't use.
And there's
Mate,
also the one used by the QT distros called PC Man FM-QT.
Yeah, yep. There's that one. And then some distros will do something a little bit different. So like Peppermint used Nemo, and despite it being it was originally like a merge of XFCE. Was it XFCE and LXQT? I think.
Yeah, it was LXQDE.
Yeah, they changed it too, so I don't remember which one was which. But they've used Nemo in the past. I'm not sure if they still are, but so sometimes the distro will change it, but oftentimes the distros just use whatever file manager comes with the Linux desktop environment. That being said, you can change them. When I've had problems with Dolphin, the biggest problems I have with Dolphin is I can never get it to connect to my network. I just can't. I found ways around it. I programmed those into my system, but on times that I've had some serious problems, I said, never mind, let me just install another file manager. I'll use that one for network stuff and whatever else. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. And Dan, give me your favorites and your least favorites.
My favorite, and this is probably a running tie, is Kaja and Nemo. I can use either one of those comfortably. They're full-featured file managers that come with all the bells and whistles. I would have to say, over my experience in the last few days or weeks playing with File Manager, GNOME comes with a file manager just as files. So it's either Nautilus.
That's Nautilus. Yep.
That is the most bare bones, hard to use thing to figure out. And when you're engaged in GNOME and trying to use it, and you need a second file manager window, you actually have to go down and click on the little icon in GNOME, and then you have to select you have to select new window, and then it'll give you a second one so you can copy and paste things back and forth. It took me a while to figure that out. Not long, but I tinkered with it. It irritated me. And to get to your actual filing system files with that is kind of a real workaround to try and get that. You got to point and click and everything else if you're not used to it to figure out, how to get there. The nice thing about Nemo is that down the side of the file manager, it tells you filing system, home, and other things and mounted drives. It actually has a bar graph that shows you how much free space you have on them and the amount of space is available.
And a more advanced thing in that I found out recently is that you can actually add and remove the different shortcuts. So like the let me pull up my file manager here to see. So under my computer where it has your home, desktop, documents, and things like that, you can actually edit, change, adjust, and move those. I found that out because when I created this computer, this new build, I used a different name for the username than I had originally had. And I'm like, okay, that just broke a lot of my config files that I transferred over. So I went through and I rechanged my name. And when I did that, I had to go into Nemo and reset all of those shortcuts. They're basically all shortcuts that you can set in the properties, which is really cool.
Others that I really dislike. Thunar is kind of really bare bones, just like Nautilus is. PC Man FM-QT is just a nudge better, and that's about it. It shows a little more, but that's about it. But down at the bottom of the barrel, those would be my pick for worst. Best, of Kaja and Nemo, they're almost identical, really, the last time I looked at them. side by
Yeah,
side.
they are. I think the one thing that Kaja does that Nemo doesn't, if I remember correctly, is bulk file renaming. And
Right.
this showed up because Cinnamon in the recent version of Linux Mint has a tool to do that, to do bulk file renaming, and they left that tool out of the Mate and the XFCE versions of Linux Mint because their file managers do that automatically.
Another standout thing about Nemo and Kaja is they have the ability to right click and go into your file system, right click and open as root. For people that are not command line savvy, that is a valuable tool. If you have to modify any of your system files to add a extra drive to your fstab file for auto mounting or anything like that, I mean, they could break a lot of other things in file managers, and I still love them for that feature alone.
Yeah. I guess with that being said, though, hold on, my train of thought has derailed. Oh well. Salva, have you used any other ones that you could provide any general basics, yeses, nos, things like that?
The only other file manager that I've ever used is the one that came with Windows 98 or N95.
Okay.
And there's one default setting that always annoyed me, and I still can't figure out how they thought that this was a good idea. The default setting in the Windows 98 file manager, and I think also it did that in Windows 2000, but I'm not sure, was that when you open the file manager and then you clicked on a folder, that folder opened in its own window. And if you go down 5 folders, then you have 5 windows open.
I think that they have changed that since then, but I don't remember. Either that or I have changed the settings always as the first thing that I've done.
Windows 7's file manager is pretty stout. It works pretty good.
Yeah, I don't specifically have a lot of gripes with Windows. In fact, for me, Nemo behaves a lot like the Windows file manager did. It's just easy to use. It's fast. It doesn't cause a lot of issues, and that's why I have an issue with some of the other ones. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the reasons I put on my worst. So my biggest problem with Dolphin, there's 2 issues. So Dolphin is your file manager that comes default with Plasma KDE. The first issue that I've had is, I think I actually have 3 issues here. The first issue that I have with Dolphin is you have to fight with it to get it to recognize any network connections. And even then, it's very difficult to get it any distribution, almost no distribution based on Plasma. When you plug it in, you can just go right into networks and view your network files. You have to manually program in your network folders and things like that. Those are the problems that I've had. Now, I've seen 1 or 2 distributions that does have that fixed out of the box, but I've never figured out exactly how to make that work. And so for me, that is kind of like, I use network shares a lot. That's a pain. The second problem I have with Dolphin is, for a long time, and they might have fixed this, they did not have the open as root function that Dan had mentioned, where you can go in and you can open as root. In fact, most file managers have that option. Dolphin does not. And that means that if you needed to do anything in the system folders, you're booting up a terminal or you're installing another file manager. So that's the second problem I have with Dolphin. The third issue is it is slow as hell. It is, you go and grab a file and you move it. The first thing is, every single file, would you like to move this or copy this? Pop-ups. I move files around like there's nobody's business in my work. And unfortunately, I have a system that uses Plasma right now, and Dolphin drives me crazy. It's extraordinarily slow, and it gives you this pop-up. There's no option to configure it to say, okay, like every other file manager in the history of the universe, if I'm copying from the same disk, copy it. If I'm putting it on a different disk, if I'm putting it on the same disk, move it. If you're moving it on a different disk, copy it. There's no way to set that file set up. And it drives me crazy. Those are my gripes on Dolphin. Anybody else have anything to add about Dolphin?
You just rehashed all the gripes I got. I mean,
his name is Flipper,
it does the same
Flipper,
thing
Flipper.
for me.
And he can flip right on out as far as I'm concerned. I do use it, unfortunately, but oh, it drives me crazy.
I think the only time that I actually use something that looks like a GUI file manager is when I plug in a USB device, and then a pop-up comes down at the screen asking if I want with options if I want to mount it, and then it opens in a file manager once it's mounted. But I immediately close that and use the terminal.
Mm-hmm. You've frozen on us, Salbu. I could hear you, but I just couldn't see you move. All right. So yeah, I mean, Dolphin is not the end of the world. It does do a lot of features. It does have a lot of plugins. You can do a lot of extra things with it if you dig into it. Like everything else in Plasma, there's a lot of configurations. Some distributions, many of the distributions that ship Plasma, and I think it's the default, is that Dolphin does a single click to open files and open folders. If you're used to it, it's a really good thing, but most people just aren't used to it, and so it becomes problematic for them in that respect. And it's easy to change, but again, a lot of the settings for that are in the Plasma settings, and those can get a little bit difficult to find at times. Those are my gripes with Dolphin. Let's look at Nautilus, or it's just called Files, is what you see it as the public face, but behind the scenes it's called Nautilus, which is in GNOME.
That's what it's labeled as in GNOME.
Yeah, so for the most part, it's pretty good, I think. I think you can toggle a setting to click the button and open it in a new window. I think you can. The default's not there. My biggest gripes with Nautilus, number one, is it tends to be pretty slow at file manipulation. And when you're transferring files or moving files, it doesn't give you a separate pop-up box you can set somewhere. It gives you a little notification box at the top of the folders, and there's no real idea of where everything is going in there, and so it's just, and sometimes it lags. If you have bigger files, sometimes it lags and it looks like it just freezes. And those for me they're more annoyances than they are anything else. I would say all the gripes together, Dolphin's probably a little bit worse than Nautilus in that respect. It's not intuitive, it's difficult to use, and that's kind of my thought on it. So those are my issues there. If anybody has anything else to add in, what do you have on that one?
Like I said, I have a running copy of Fedora with GNOME on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. The desktop altogether, after you start this thing up, weighs in at about 1.1 gigapounds of memory. I mean,
yeah.
it is really heavy.
Yeah, GNOME and GNOME-based systems, they take more RAM if you have more system RAM. They take less RAM if you have less system RAM.
There isn't that much there to look at to use that much memory.
I know.
It's really weird. It doesn't make any sense. And the file manager is, just as bad. There's not that much file manager there. You have to coax it to move one file from one area to another.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look for a way to open a second window and then kick the file over to another window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess keeping in line with the annoyances, let's go over to Nemo, which is my favorite. Obviously, the one thing I don't find it to be a huge thing, but bulk file renaming. There are a few times I would like that feature, so it's kind of annoying it doesn't have it, but Linux Mint has solved that on their distribution, though other distributions shipping with Cinnamon or Nemo are going to have to find another solution. I'm trying to think if there was any other issues. It's default. Oh, this is really annoying. Its default is if you're copying multiple files from multiple different folders and things, it does them in a sequential order rather than doing them all at the same time. And so it's like, this one is queued, and there's a setting in there to change it. It's like, would you just turn that on by default, please? So if I'm copying a bunch of things from different folders, one's going to be like 3 pictures. Okay, that'll take about 0.3 seconds. It doesn't need to sit and wait in a queue. Just transfer the stupid thing. But otherwise, Nemo is pretty good. I don't use Kaja as much just because I just don't use Mate very much. And so I don't have a lot to say about that one other than it's very.
I
much
have
like
a machine
Nemo.
with that on it. I can open it up for you and we can see what it is.
Let's jump. Solo, do you have anything else to add real quick? Otherwise, we'll jump to comments for a few minutes.
Yeah. If you for people who want to try an old style file manager, some years ago, 4 years ago, I think it was, Microsoft released as free software the original file manager that came with Windows 3.1. And people who want to use it can have it in a Wine environment or on an old that takes me back days.
Yeah, for you two on the supporter stream, there's a picture of my sunset right now. It looks very nice.
Yeah, that's a nice sunset.
Hey Dan, my hand's getting tired. Look at it.
and I'm sure, and I'm quite sure.
Wow,
that
my sun
camera
has been
doesn't
long
do
and gone.
Yeah. All right. Oh, did I lose?
In one of them storm fronts.
Okay, there you go.
Boogie through.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Okay, I have Kaja open.
Right.
Just kind of a comparison thing, between Nemo and Kaja.
Yeah, I think we lost Salbu. Oh, there you see it back. Greetings, welcome back. All right, go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Nemo, like I said, has the little bar and shows you how much space you have on your file rack on the side. Mm-hmm. Kaja does not have that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is very much looks like Nemo, and unlike with Nautilus, it does not have an up button, so you can work your way up out of a file tree. Yeah. Kaja and Nemo have those. Kaja has like a rewind button or reload button. Okay. I don't think Nemo has a reload button, does it?
A reload? So like refresh?
Yeah, it's a circle with an arrow. So like if you move something out or around or something like that and you need to refresh to see where all your files are.
No, and there's F5 does work, but I don't actually even see that listed in the menu anywhere. So like F5, the global reset,
Yeah.
This is
that's
like
it. Guys, these politicians, they're going to F5 the world here. No, I'm sorry.
Reload current location is what the button's for.
Yeah, the Nemo does refresh on F5, but it's nowhere in the menus. That is correct. So
they have it at the icon bar at the top with all the icons for the functions. Mm-hmm. I think it's list. Yeah, it's got your basic list compact view and then your tile view.
Okay. Yeah. And Nemo has those. I guess another thing is some people don't like on Nautilus. I don't really care, but they only have like 4 options for the size of your folders, like your icons and stuff. Nemo's got at least 10 or 15, so you can do a lot of different things with the size of the folders. We have, I think it does have the same options: folder view, list view, and the compact view. Which, by the way, Nemo is actually based on Nautilus.
This is the view of your folders, and the way you want your stuff arranged in the window. Mm-hmm. Do you like icon view or list view? Gives you your list with the file sizes and how much stuff is in each folder mm-hmm. and all that. You know what I'm talking about.
Compact is just really small list over.
Yeah, it's just like a list on a notepad.
I think most of your file managers have those basic options.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a places button over on the left side. Places information, tree history, notes, emblems. Add emblems.
Now here's something that Nemo can do, and I'm not sure if Kaja can. You can actually go in and do an entry location, which can even be a network file. So you can go up and you can enter in a network source, or even possibly, I think at one point in time you could, I'm not sure if you still can, you could actually enter an FTP address in that as well. and I'm pretty sure that might still work. So you could actually use your Nemo as an FTP server if you needed to.
Well, that's cool. Another thing both Nemo and Kaja have is the ability to change a folder to a different color from the rest of them by right-clicking on it and folder colors. If you want a folder to stand out more than the rest of them, that is a really nice feature.
Yeah, Nemo does do that.
I have special folders in my filing thing, which is special stuff that's out of the ordinary that I want highlighted because I know they got different stuff in them that I need to know where it's at all the time.
Yeah, we also have an open-end terminal in Nemo as well. You have a folder or something else in the terminal. Selby would like that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want this GUI stuff.
Yeah, I have used that in a few occasions.
Yeah, excellent. All right, let's have another look at our comments here real quick.
Kaja has open-end terminal too.
Reno has curfews. I'm going to have to look into this Reno having curfews thing. That looks exciting. Always looked at us Americans with a scowl on their face because we're always laughing, and their vehicles and strikers were always cute and smaller versions of ours. Yeah. A minivan is a smaller version of my car, guys. Let's see. Susan was where I lost my Linux cherry, and now I stick with Linux Mint. There you go. Bash type is Ranger. All right. Using Manjaro Mate with Kaja on 3 main computers. I've been testing Solus Budgie at it, and I like it. Very good. Where are the best places to live in Wyoming? Star Valley is nice, very beautiful. If you like more left-leaning environments, Jackson is the only left-leaning place in the state of Wyoming. Everybody else is pretty much hunting gun toters and stuff like that. Other than that, so depending on what you like there, and also depending, do you like big towns or small towns? There's small towns that are good. There's small towns that are bad. Thermopolis, if I had to go back to Wyoming, Thermopolis is probably where I'd try and move into because it's nice, it's beautiful, and they actually the city council there actively keeps large corporations out of town. A Pizza Hut and a McDonald's are the only corporate chains that are able to can bust in there because they don't want to turn the place into a tourist or into the same old place. So most of the town is just small shops, small local owned stuff. So that's a really nice place. Other than that, there's not a ton in Wyoming. Laramie has a lot more cultural options and things like that because of the university there. There's actually 2. Most people think there's only one 4-year university in Wyoming. There's actually 2, and the other one is a Catholic university that still requires 3 years of equine training. Okay, I kid you not. It's like I didn't even hear about this. Nobody talked about this, but when I was selling academic software, we had lists of every university in the country. And Wyoming has a 4-year university that still requires you to take equine training. That would be riding horses and stuff. So you got to believe there as a cowboy. I'm not sure if they had 6 shooter classes or not, but never know. Dolphin can literally do everything the other file managers can do, plus more. The plus more is probably the issue because it does so much that it becomes a slow, buggy nightmare. And that's probably it. I don't know.
I just find it frustrating for a noob to figure out all those little extra things that they keep hidden.
Yeah. Dad tells us to use Thunar, but won't say why. I don't know. You'll have to ask.
There was this Briggs in the chat mentioned that a file manager that I remember testing 6 or 7 years ago. Crusader is a GUI file manager. It's a Windows Commander lookalike or a Total Commander that it was renamed. It is the same as Midnight Commander, only for the GUI. So that's one alternative for those who want to use the Midnight Commander style of a file manager in the GUI. So that's that one.
Yes, Spin Viking is liking the idea of not needing a DE, just a window manager, which is valid, sure. Let's see. Dolphin reacts like elementary. It's just too limited to get anything productive. No, that I disagree with that. I think elementary is too limited to get anything productive, but Dolphin isn't too limited. Dolphin does have a lot of options. It's just slow and buggy, and it's missing the few options that most people want. And that's kind of the problem with it. As long as I can copy, paste, and move files around and get stuff done, I'm good. Yes. The question is how good for some of these, you know. Torzo C, hello, how are you doing? Caesar CJ, greetings. Caesar CJ, is my cat now the king? Let's see. Anytime you try sudo dolphin, it won't let you. There's no option to enable it. Yeah, I thought there was something that they did recently to adjust that, but can anybody confirm that? Almost as broken as Linus when he first installed Steam on Papa's. I have to go back and find this video. Everyone's talking about it because it's like Linus Tech Tips is like Linux sucks and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, you're a Windows fanboy. That's why I don't watch your channel.
He is giving Linux a shot.
Yeah, he has been using it for.
They're doing a Linux challenge
Okay.
at his channel.
Yeah,
Okay,
he and one of the guys have a challenge of only using Linux for a month or however long it is. And
the other one that really uses Linux all the time can't help him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
the big guy with long hair.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's been so long since I've watched Linus Tech Tips. I just remember them being like corporate chills. I was like, So, but I don't know. I'll have to go find it though and see what I think. But that's the thing is that if you don't know anything about Linux and you dive on in, you're probably going to have a bad experience. You gotta,
but that also depends on what type of the distro that you are using or testing.
Yeah, and what's he doing? Is he doing Pop OS?
I don't remember.
I think he started on Papa OS and he went to install Steam and he broke it because there's a bug in Papa OS. If you go to install Steam, it'll remove the whole desktop.
I was seeing information about that. It was either Vince or it was Pizza that posted a meme about that on Twitter, I think. I forget.
It takes out the whole pop desktop, and he got
that sucks.
upset.
And I agree
so he
with
went.
Whoever,
he
I
went
agree
to
with whoever said that.
Manjaro.
It said they're not going to live this one down.
He went to Manjaro. Now the guy that's doing the challenge and with him, he's doing Linux Mint, and he got it installed and everything, and he's doing it right, and it works for him.
Of course. I can say though, Endeavor OS also works really well. I have had pretty much no problems with Endeavor. The only issue I had is when the hard drive broke, and that was the hard drive's problem, not the operating systems. So, put it on a new hard drive, and no problems since. So,
yeah, when you have hardware problems like that, it's very hard to figure out whether it's the software or the hardware.
And that's the problem I'm having with my router right now, because it's like something is wrong somewhere, and I don't know what the problem is.
It's like you got to have spare parts, or you'll go nutso.
Yeah, Linus from Linus Tech Tip says that Dolphin is garbage. I agree with him. I mean, we have to agree to agree. I mean, come on. You can disable the pop-ups. Okay, if you can disable, let me know how. I'm very interested in that. Using Manjaro KDE, but network folders are found automatically in the file manager. Okay, I think Manjaro, well, no, I don't think Manjaro is the one that necessarily fixed that, because that's what I'm using, and I had to manually program my network folders in. It does not find them for me automatically. But I've seen some distros that do. Got to find the other day one of Linus's videos on Linux with someone that thinks every Linux distro is terminal-based and gets to get anything done. Yeah, I disagree. I mean, there's some things that I do that are terminals. So when I'm writing books and I'm extracting the assets I'm using for my books, I do all that in the terminal because it's so much faster. Like, okay, these are the pages. We're going to extract the PDFs. I'm going to create the images I need out of it. So,
yeah.
Can you even type directory/file paths in Dolphin? I thought so, but I can't remember. Joe adds Nemo to Plasma DE instead of using Dolphin. I should probably try that. Few HP refurbs of Linux Mint. Ready for sale after I'm sprung from rehab. The come of the mouse due to the touchpad not being accessible. All right. Best not to cast your pearls before swine. When someone is that ignorant, it is by choice. You having big play? I was so bummed out the other day because I passed by a Long John Silver's. I've not seen a Long John Silver's in a decade, so I'm like, I'm gonna pull in there and buy some Long John Silver's. Like, drive through only. No, no. Open your dining room. You know, I mean, figure it out. It's like, don't give me that excuse. Well, we don't have enough employees, dude. When I worked at Burger King, okay, I was able to manage the front and the drive-through. Now, maybe not at rush hour, but at 8 o'clock at night, which is when I went through, there's no excuse not to let somebody walk in and take an order.
It's normally how they do it around here.
So I went to Pizza Hut the other day with a friend, right? Going to Pizza Hut, and they're like, what's your phone number? Dude, I'm going to be sitting at that table right there. I still need your phone number. No! You can't figure out how to put a pizza and order in without me giving you my phone number. You got another thing coming.
The thing is, if you call them to order pizza, they have your number.
Well, yeah, but I walked in the front. I walked in the front of the
store.
It's
still the principle of the thing.
Pepperoni pizza. I'll be sitting.
To enlighten your argument, if you call up and order a pizza, whether you pick it up or you have them deliver it, they got your phone number right there.
That's cool. No problem. No problem. But I'm not calling them for that reason.
They needed to deliver it to your table.
Yeah. That's what I told my friend. I think my friend gave him his phone number. I said, if they call you when that pizza's done, I'm just going to lose it.
This pizza's for 517-204.
And then they want your name. I'm going to start looking for the list of crazy names to give people just to mess with them. Right now, anytime a restaurant asks me for my name is Joe Bob.
You know what? I really believe that pizza places index their customers by phone numbers, because every pizza place I call around here don't ask me my name. They ask me my phone number before I even order. Then they go, "Are you Dan at blah, 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 blah town?"
Wow.
You know, and go, "Yes, I am." And then they'll let me order.
That's just creepy.
They're all like that around here. They catalog people by their phone numbers now.
That's, well, I mean, I guess if you're in the pizza, I don't know. That's okay if you're calling them, I guess, you know.
Well, they figure if they got your number and they're able to call you and pester you, that you'll actually pay for your pizza.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just have a problem about them calling and pestering me when I haven't been there, you know? So, like, literally, I think one of a dentist's office from a city I haven't lived in over a decade apparently had my phone number, and, like, apparently they just bought onto some text messaging service, because here's this company that I have not done any business with in years. I get a random text message, "Hey, it's been a while since you've had a checkup." I'll piss off.
For you, that's kind of creepy, especially if you eat at Pizza Hut a lot, because now they can track your movements every time you stop at a Pizza Hut.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not giving them
this
my
phone number is getting around all our stores.
Number? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Deliver the pizza to that table. We have gone off of the. I feel like a Total OS Today stream. We just evolved into food.
Yeah.
Toss, are you here? I think I saw DT jump in down there. Hey, there's DT. How's it going, DT?
Yeah, DT's here.
I found Nautilus incredibly slow when large directories. Yes, that is the problem I have. Going to something with thousands of files, Nautilus is slow as molasses in January. Yes, and that consequently is slow.
You know, it never stops to amaze me how far down Linux can dig a file into a tree.
Yeah.
I mean, it can go 12, 15, 16. I don't know what the limit is, but it's real deep. You can sit there and click, 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 click to get to the bottom of the tree to look for a little file you're looking for that it installed itself.
Yeah, but if you really want to dig deep into the file system, have a symlink pointing to the folder that you are currently in. Then you can really go down the rabbit trail.
Okay. Also, Joe reminds us you can tweak your right-click options in Nemo, like add make a link, for example. Yeah. DT, go ahead and take it easy, man. I'm taking it easy in the desert. Although I should put up my insulating boards. I can feel my feet getting cold, and that means it's getting chilly outside. It should be down to close to freezing tonight in the desert. So. And I should have topped off my diesel tank, but I didn't. Oh well, I still have about 3 or 4 days worth, so I have to go into town eventually.
Yeah, I have a rule for myself that at any given time, I'm always going to have at least half a tank of diesel on my car. And so the thinking is that if something happens and I need to get out of town for whatever reason, some disaster or something, then I can go for 5 hours.
Well, my diesel is for my heater, so
yeah.
But I think I have, like, if I remember correctly, if I run it all night, which I'm not going to have to do tonight, but if I run it all night, then it'll be like I think I have about 4 days left before I have to leave, and I'm planning on leaving, probably I won't move tomorrow, but I'm thinking Saturday I'm going to leave for my spot, and hopefully I can get a spot back. So I don't know, but I like this spot. Linus brings valid criticisms. I will see if I can't find that video and see.
Lately we've been having a stink bug problem around here.
We have. I've seen them all over the place. In fact,
well, you know what?
My portable solar panel.
Most of them are not even our stink bugs. They're hybrids.
Really?
I found 3 of them. My cousin's found at least 12 or 15 of them, and he thinks they're coming down his chimney, but they're not of the North American variety. They're from the Asian variety. There are stink bugs that have come over here in shipping containers.
Which ones do those ones look like?
They're kind of grayish in color, not quite brown. Mm-hmm. And they got the shield-like shaped back. Mm-hmm. And the North American ones, if I'm not mistaken, are more brown.
Yeah.
I think you need to call the Border Patrol because they need to be deported.
Yeah, well, no, we're just going to give them $1 million instead.
Well, yeah. Well, some of the articles I looked in on these creatures is they did come over here from Asia, and they're multiplying like crazy.
Yeah,
just like their carp.
I have seen them. We had a lot of them in Pennsylvania. I haven't seen them for a while, except I opened up my my portable solar panel today, and there was one in there, but he probably jumped in from out west or from out east.
They're looking for a warm place to settle in for the winter. They do hibernate.
Is somebody really loud? I don't know.
I can be really loud if I want to.
Oh.
I've been accused of being loud.
I think it was just a volume thing. Somebody who's it saying? Alistair is saying that Dan is really loud. 867-5309.
Am I very loud?
I don't think so, but maybe.
I mean, I just installed pipe wire. Maybe that has something to do with it. How about that? Is that better?
There you go. No Name actually blocked Linus's channel because I got sick of the constant recommendations showing in my face. You know, I agree with, like, there is something stupid about the YouTube algorithm that for a longest time, they kept on recommending for 3 straight months. Every single video was a Forbes video next. It's like, I have never watched a Forbes video. I'm not interested in watching a Forbes video. Forbes can go screw off. And they finally, just about only a month ago, they finally re-added the button under recommendations to not recommend this channel. And ever since they put that button in, I haven't seen them again. So very happy.
You want to get on YouTube's my bad side of YouTube? Well, you heard that they no longer going to show thumbs downs to anybody except the creators.
Yeah, and I just saw that roll out to my YouTube today.
Okay. All right. A lot of people have already seen YouTube channels or everything about it. Another thing I have a problem with is the bell. It no longer shows anything when somebody goes live. Instead, what it does is if I gave somebody a thumbs up, even though I'm not subscribed to their channel and I like their video, now when I click on the bell, it will show me all the people that have posted a video that I gave a thumbs up to, from the newest to the oldest.
Interesting.
And it's about useless unless you're looking for a content creator to get a second video from them.
I just saw a video today about.
And I just now tried to send you a super chat when the stream started, and it won't take any of my credit cards.
Really?
Not any of them. Not even the ones with the 40 grand limit.
I don't know. They're doing weird stuff.
I remember earlier today I watched a video of Louis Rossmann, who was commenting on the removing the counter for the public in order to for the download, and he gave an example of a video of how that could be skewed to promote things and claiming that it was popular. I think I don't remember what company he promoted. He gave us an example, but who had a video who had that 8 or 10,000 upvotes, and it had almost 800,000 downloads. So,
yeah, very fun. Wow, it's already 8. That's exciting.
Yeah, time flies and you're having fun.
Yeah, that means we gotta jump off. I have another video to prep for. So tonight on the other channel, we are talking about dinosaurs, evidence of an old age or not. So if you want to have a look at that channel, that is my Christian channel. We'll be talking about that. And I snapped that photo of the thumbnail myself. That is a Allosaurus. I don't know if that was a cast or if that one's the actual skull. I think that one's a cast. So, on the picture there. And so we're going to be talking about the evidence of dinosaurs. We're talking about what the actual scientists are saying, and then we're talking about what the Bible has to say as well. Here, YouTube is going away from Roku. Yes, they did not strike a deal, and the YouTube app is going to be pulled from Roku, which is sad.
I don't even use my Roku on my TV anymore. I got a computer on the side of it. It was the old computer I used to use in here, my old daily driver. It just got migrated out to the TV. It's the new TV server.
Yeah.
I use I did have an issue where on my Raspberry Pi for the Kodi box, it was oftentimes you start a movie and like 10 minutes in it just stopped. I think it was just a bad cable. So I actually grabbed my Cat 6 cable from storage when I was there last, and I just started cutting a bunch of sizes out and just built a bunch of network cables and reran network cabling in the van. So, yeah, I have a full home network on this thing. It's kind of geeky, really.
Yeah, speaking of network cables, I have a short... a friend of mine, he almost 20 hours ago, 22 hours ago, a neighbor, this was between 2 and 3 a.m. He was out with an excavator digging something, and he cut the fiber connections to the area. And he was told by the ISP. They notified the ISP after a while, and my friend was told that they couldn't fix it until Monday, who's coming. But my friend, he used to attend a school of where one of the things he learned was how to splice together fiber cables. So he called up an old buddy who he used to study with and work with, who is now working in the telecom industry. And he came with his van and they fixed it themselves.
Nice. Can't go without internet, man. I actually had to do that this week. one of my earlier stops. We did not have internet, but I paid $6 for the most amazing campsite I've ever seen. So it was worth it. And I just used the time to do some things. So I'm experimenting with doing night photography, and I need to figure out how to get it focused, but I've got it mostly figured out. So if anybody knows how to focus night photography, let me know. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, last decade you couldn't do without cable. This year, you can't do without internet.
Yeah, let me see if I can find these. Where are you guys? Are you around here somewhere? Should be coming up. All right. Come on. All right.
There was also, I seen an article. If you buy a new Samsung TV, it comes like all the streaming service junk built into it. It shows you ads directly from Samsung.
That's fun. All right. So you guys probably won't be able to see it on this supporter call, but I'll go ahead and show my pictures. I don't have this window optimized, so pardon that little block at the bottom. I'm just showing you guys what I was experimenting with. So there's that. There's this one. So these are just never studying anything about night photography, just trying to do some photography of the stars. And so we're getting there. I just need to figure out how to get things focused a little bit better. So
fast film.
This one was actually serendipity. Some people were walking around with flashlights, and that's how we got the color on the landscape like that.
Oh.
Then there's a satellite down. I don't know if this thing's capturing my camera. On the lower left, there's a satellite. You can see the straight line. That's a satellite. There, you can see it a little bit better.
Cool. I have this stream up and muted in my other computer, so it shows up 30 minutes, 30 seconds after.
This is the good satellite one. You can see that it looks like a series of dots.
Yeah, I like my I have the after I moved out of the city, I can go out to my porch. I can turn off the lights outside, and I can see this stars in the sky. And I remember missing seeing those when I was in the city.
Yeah, this one is. We have another satellite here, and I was experimenting with trying to get some of the foreground imagery in there, so we got some of that in. Again, the stars just aren't focused, and that's what I want to see, is get the stars focused in. This here is Pleiades, so you can see what I need to do is I need to drop the camera exposure, because there's like 6-7 stars here, but we're seeing a whole mass of them because we're not focused and we're exposing slightly too long. So here's a little bit better. So there's Pleiades, and Taurus is down here, just down a little bit below it. I forget you guys can't see my cursor. There's a much better one. So upper, kind of like the upper middle-ish, veering to the right. That's Pleiades. And then you can see the V down here. That's Taurus the bull.
Actually, they can see your cursor, but it shows up on the in this case my image, so it's not centered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's I'm experimenting with that, and where I'm at here, I should see a perfect, beautiful night sky. So I'm going to experiment a little bit more with night photography, and I'm going to maybe do a little bit of internet research and see if I can figure out how to get the stars focused. That's kind of what I need to work on.
I have been doing. I did some testing a few years ago when I got my camera. And the way to do it is to have a manual focus and just have the biggest focus manually.
Yeah, I was trying that, but I just couldn't get a good handle on it. So I'll look it up and figure it out. Yeah. I have a kitty sneeze right next to me. Yeah, somebody said. Like I said, I sound a little muffled. Yeah, I do seem to sound muffled in this current setup, and I keep meaning to look into it, and I don't know. How's that?
I noticed that on your videos.
Yeah, it does sound. It sounds muffled.
Your
I'm not sure
your
where the
sound's
muffle
not
came from.
sharp. It's flat.
Yeah, I need to figure that out, and I just keep forgetting about it. So thanks for reminding me. I need to look into that.
Yeah, especially now that this stream is ending. Now we can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a note though to experiment with it though. Nice photography.
It sounds good now,
Yeah.
but during
Yeah.
your regular video time with the Tux Traveler,
Yeah, that channel specifically, it does sound. Maybe I have something goofed up in the audio setup of that, so I'll look into it. Mountains, so done with the plains. Grown up in the mountain. Let's see. Grown up in this place with mountains for 26 years and missed the mountain background. Yeah, I'm pretty close to a kind of right behind me is actually some snow-capped mountains right now.
Yeah, and then I can relate to that comment. I grew up in a rural area, and despite living in the city for 30 years, it's not the same as living in an environment as the one you grew up in. And now I'm back in the same environment.
So somebody said it sounds a lot better now. Does it sound a lot better now for you guys listening? So what I did is I toggled my current audio system. I can go all the way up like this, and this is kind of maxing out bass and treble. I can put them at 0. I can do this, putting them down at all the way negative, which probably sounds like crap. So if I put them back at 0, how does that sound?
I can't tell the differse through the Jitsi stream.
You guys won't from the Jitsi stream because you're using a different mic. You guys have a different mic than the stream has. Every time you turn your head, your mic fades. Yeah, I know. It's because it's a cardio mic. They do that. All right. We'll go ahead. I'll test around fixing that up, but we need to jump off here so I can get ready for my next stream. I did put that.
Just replay one of your Tux Traveler videos, and you'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, I know. I heard it. I was like, that does not sound good, but I'll figure it out. I'll try and fix that for the Tux Traveler video tomorrow. So.
I mean, the videos are still watchable. I enjoy, looking at them. It's just I thought that, you'd like to know that you might be able to improve them some.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Joe says sounds better turned up. Put it back where you had it, like all the way up. All right, I'll try that. All right. Anyway, there's the link again to the Christian stream. We're talking about dinosaurs, evidence of old age. I'm going to show you some of the photographs that I've taken, even including some dinosaurs just kind of out in the hills. Kind of fun. Anyway, guys, we will talk to you guys tomorrow for the weekly news roundup. It'll be a lot of fun. And we will see you guys then.
Bye, everyone.
Live long and prosper.